Okay, so I see, yes, it's a very busy week for everybody. I understand, yes, I know. Well, good afternoon, everybody, again, and welcome to your FCE preparation course. Hoping that everybody is okay and very willing to keep practicing, right? Um, well, how was the homework of reading and use of English part 6? Did you have any trouble with that, or it was okay?
In the second text about the
Runner?
dog,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the runner is more difficult because yeah, I think it's difficult for me because in the different paragraph uh, have the like a same idea, and when you see alternative the alternative is not giving more information or exact information, like for me to vinculate the paragraph.
Yes. You don't know exactly, or you cannot be 100% sure about how to match
Yeah, because
exact
I think maybe it's A, or maybe it's B, because A and B is just the like same words or means the same, and I confuse. But in the second, but the first I think is normal.
It was okay. It was
Yeah,
it was
okay.
friendlier. It was a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, sometimes it might happen. Yes, it happens with this part of reading and use of English, because one, the extracts of these of the text are not in the right order. We have to put them in the correct place. But we need to be very careful and pay attention to what is before and after the gap. And in the end, we have to read everything and make sure it makes sense, right? And we have to keep the idea of each paragraph. So if the extract that I am putting here doesn't fit there, or it doesn't follow the same idea of the paragraph, then it's not in the right place, right? That's why a suggestion could be put very quickly reading the whole story, but just quickly as you can, to see what each paragraph is about, and then have like a general idea of each paragraph, right? So then it will be a little bit easier. We're going to go through that. We're going to check our homework right now and talk about how difficult it was. Thank you very much, Miriam, for your participation. So that's what we're going to do right away. We're going to first check our homework, reading and use of English part 6. Okay, then we're going to introduce reading and use of English part 7. All right, and with that, we will be over with reading and use of English. Okay. And then we will have a short mock of reading and use of English part 6, which is the part we did last class, and part 7, which is the part we're going to do today. Okay, so once we finish with that, we will continue with listening part 3. Okay, so well, as I was saying, let's start taking our homework. Okay, so could you, everybody, please, could you candidates open reading and use of English part 6, reading and use of English part 6, which was on the virtual platform, so that we can take it. Okay, there we have it. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Can you see my screen, dear candidates?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, So let's see. This was a homework. Tree of the year. And the second one that Miriam was talking about, the desert runner and the dog. Tree of the year and the desert runner and the dog, right? So I will stop sharing. So now you can check your answers, compare your answers together, okay? So let me put you in groups so that you can start checking and comparing your answers. Let's see here. Okay. So Daniela, Patricia, and Solange, you will be together. Anivet, Janela, and Miriam, you will be together. Alejandra, Romina, and Monica, you will be together, okay? Please accept the invitation and start comparing your answers. Try to exchange some ideas like, why do you find this? Or why do you think this extra belongs to this paragraph? Exchange ideas, try to talk, okay? There you go.
Okay, so let's compare our answers.
Yes.
In the first reading, tree of the year, I put in number 1 the letter E. Because they were talking, yeah, letter E, because they were talking about how the grants may be spent.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, about grant, I put E too in this part of the text.
Okay. And the number 2?
I put G.
Yeah, I put G also because they were talking about children's.
Letter G.
Yes, G.
And letter, no.
I'm talking about children's.
No, letter A, I think.
Yeah, number 3 was letter A.
Number.
It was letter A because they were talking about branches, right? And number 4? I put C.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
5, I put D.
I put letter A in this part.
Yes, maybe we can do it in this moment.
Yeah, in this moment, because the other homework I don't complete other alternative. Maybe we use this time and you can do the homework.
Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, okay, don't worry.
It's supposed that we have to complete with the sentences with the options, no?
Yeah, with the options, you need to complete this with when the 1, 2, 3 alternative. Yeah.
Okay.
Difficult part of the exam, not reading and just English.
Yes. And what about the listening?
The listen, well, it was a little complicated too.
What?
What? It was a little complicated too.
Yes, I think that
Let's
is
check
going to
about
be
the next step, the dessert runner of the thought. In number 1, I got letter E.
me too.
You. Not a spring. Number 2, G.
Yes, yes, because I have some alternatives about, for example, I think number 2 may I think is G or F, and I put 2 alternatives, but I'm not sure. But I think that I I will improve.
I think it's G because in my case, F, I didn't consider F, for example, for any answer. I think that it doesn't fit with the text.
Mm-hmm.
In number 3, I got D.
B. Oh, okay. Me too. Me too.
Okay. Number 4,
Before I not sure. I don't put in nothing because you.
Miss, excuse me.
Yes, hello.
Hello, I'm Romina. I sent you a WhatsApp message because when I enter to my UDEP virtual, I can't find any information of the course. I sent you the picture.
Oh, let me see. While the others are finishing with the group's work, and then they can come back.
Maybe can you send me to my email, please, information for this week?
Oh yes, it appears here we have other courses. Something has changed with the way you look at the plataforma of the virtual, or it's been like this all the time? Romina?
Me, sorry?
Something has changed with what you see on the virtual, or it has been like that all the time?
No, it changed all because I always have only the course, but now I have other courses for other for the university. An example, comunicación, derecho.
Ah, okay. Yes, I think I remember. Yes, Romina. Okay, I will text you later so that I can explain this to you. Okay, I remember now. I will give you the material.
Material.
Sent to your email. Yes, I will send it to your email.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay, give me just 1 second. While the others are coming back. Okay, but Romina, you have the material from the homework from last class, right? You have it on your computer.
No, Miss, because the material disappeared from my UDEP virtual. I can't.
Okay, and you didn't download it. Yeah, okay. Let me see then. Yeah. So Romina is Rojas there. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, it's loading. Once it's ready, I will send it, okay? It's loading, it's loading. Okay, so students, candidates, let's start checking. So the first text. Okay, let's start with the first text. Okay, okay, Romina, it's sent already. Please check your email. Okay, let me share my screen with you, candidates, so that you can see. All right, there it is. So number one, tree of the year. You said what answer?
E.
E, very good, very good. Tree of the year, letter E. Number two, letter?
E.
Letter G. Number two, letter G. Number three was letter D.
A.
D. Number four was C. Number five was letter A. Right. And number six was letter F. That's right. I said that again. You can see it also on my computer, on my screen. 1E, 2G, 3D, 4C, 5A, 6F. Okay? Okay. Now, that was tree of the year. Now let's continue with the next one. The desert runner and the dog, okay? The desert runner and the dog. Now let me silence here. Somebody's, yeah. Now, let's continue with the desert runner and the dog, which is over here. Let me stop sharing so that I can show you what I was doing here. Now, for the desert runner and the dog, right? We had over there the same. We had 6 gaps to be filled in, and we had our paragraphs, right? Now, let's see how we started. Let me share my screen here and show you. So we have this, let's imagine this is the exam. This was part of the homework too. So let's go through it together, which was maybe a little bit more difficult. So what should I do first? I know that the activity is about reading and putting these extracts in the correct place, right? So I don't need to read instruction because I know what the instruction, what this part is about. I only need to read about the topic, only this topic. So that gives me an idea of what am I about to read. I'm going to read about an article about how a desert marathon runner found a pet dog. So that gives me an idea. Okay, in that article, I will read about a marathon runner who found a dog, who found a pet dog. So then I can start thinking, okay, how did the runner find the dog? In what situation? In what context? What happened? Did he keep it? Did he not keep it? Didn't he keep it? So I kind of start thinking about all those ideas, right? Of course, in the real exam, you won't see a picture, correct? Now, what's next? I have my options here, correct? I have my options over here, and I have my text. So I can start reading, as I said, very quickly each paragraph in the text and start like writing a short summary of what each paragraph tells me, just as I did here. This should take you no more than 2 minutes. It's very quickly, no more than 2 minutes, 1 minute and a half, that's it. So as we did with the past paper, right? For example, This first text, this first paragraph, it's about an introduction of the runner and dog. So in the first paragraph, when they tell me the story of how a homeless dog became an internet star, blah, 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 the dog's adopted Australian marathon runner, etc. So this first paragraph tells me about the dog and the runner as an introduction, as a general introduction, right? Then the second paragraph, what information does this paragraph give me? It gives me information about Gobi. Gobi is a dog, about Gobi running, about how Gobi ran with the runner, how she, because it was a she, how Gobi ran with the runner. Okay, the next paragraph gives me information about the procedure that the runner had to follow in order to take Gobi to Scotland. The runner was from Scotland and he wanted to take Gobi to Scotland with him, correct? How do I know that? Because it tells me here, he decided he would take her back to Scotland, where he currently lives, right? Space, and then a little of information of what he had to do. He had to do some campaign, get some money, work on the internet, cover some costs of medical and fitness checks for Gobi. So those were, that was like a series of things that he had to do in order to take her to Scotland, okay? Next paragraph. However, the drama of the story increased when Gobi disappeared just before she was due to travel to Beijing. So this paragraph tells me that Gobi disappears, and I write it here next to the paragraph. So, you know, I am like following this story just by writing very short summaries of the paragraphs. The next one will be about the efforts to find Gobi. He had to pay, he had to go to the police, he had to do this and the other, all the things he had to do in order to get her back. This paragraph is about a hope to find Gobi. This was like, somebody said that he had seen her, so he looked for her, etc. It was a hope. And finally, when he got her, Gobi's rescue, finally he get it, correct? He got the dog. Now, I see in each paragraph that there is an order. You see? I have read the text very quickly and I have already an order for it because I have written these short summaries next to each paragraph. So that's what I should do first at the very beginning. I know what my text is about because I found it here. And then I know what each paragraph is about because I wrote like a general message for each paragraph here. Okay? Now, next thing, I have to go to my alternatives. Over here, I know I have 7, but only 6 will be used. So here I should read all of them, okay? And think about, as we were saying last class, think about what information can be before or after this space. I mean, this information, this extract or this paragraph, okay? Is it, it sounds more like a conclusion, it sounds more like a reason, it sounds more like it should be at the beginning, okay? So I read one by one, I read all of them, and I try to think what should be before and after that paragraph, okay? Once I have done the same with the 7 paragraphs, I take the first one again and see if it fits in my first paragraph. If it doesn't fit, it's like it's not very common to have letter A in space number 1, but that can happen. So if it shouldn't be here, I should look at the rest of the paragraphs and try to find the correct one for paragraph number 1. Okay, you should try to do this in the order of the text. Okay, don't try to do it in the order of the alternatives, because then it will be like a mixture of information and a mixture of things. Okay, so once you read the paragraphs here, the alternatives, correct, and you thought about what should be before, what should be after, maybe this paragraph should be with this information, maybe with Gobi's running, maybe with the efforts, maybe when Gobi got found, etc. Once you have read it, go back to the text and try to find the correct one for each paragraph. Okay, so then you will know, okay, in the first paragraph, it's introduction, and this first paragraph is before they gave more details about how Gobi ran in the marathons. Okay, so this can be maybe letter G, letter E, because I have read the options before. Okay, once you finish with all the gaps, you still have to read the whole text again so that you make sure it makes sense. Okay, you have already checked your answers, correct? You have already checked your answers with your groups when we started the lesson. Now, try to read what I have written here about what each paragraph is about, and try to think about your options. Okay, try to think, oh, maybe my alternative was not the right one, or maybe yes, I know, yes, it coincides very well. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to try to think of your answers again. Okay, only 2 minutes. There you go. Try to think of your answers again, please. Okay, now, please, candidates, you tell me what we wrote there. Okay, let's see. Number 1, what option? Yes, very good, that's right. Letter E, exactly. Letter E. What we have here, Leonor managed to win 2nd place in the marathon in the race despite having to carry Kobe across rivers, right? Exactly. So it's still at the very beginning when he was running with Kobe. Great, exactly. You see here, Kobe running. Very good. Number 2.
A.
Excellent, Miriam. Very good. Letter A. Perfect. Letter A, exactly. Exactly. What we have here is, he soon found that the process for achieving this was difficult and expensive. What is this? The cost for achieving this. It means the procedure, right? To take Gobi to Scotland, right? So he wanted to take Gobi to Scotland, so that was expensive. Very good. Number 3.
Maybe it's letter D?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is letter D. Very good. When Gobi disappears, letter D. She had to be monitored there for 3 months before she was allowed to travel out of China. So she had to be monitored there. What is there? Or where is there?
Beijing?
Exactly, exactly. Before she was due to travel to Beijing. Okay, she was supposed to be there in Beijing, right? And then she got lost. Very good. Number 4, which talks about all the efforts. What do you find there in number 4?
I maybe it's letter F?
Letter F.
Or G?
I don't know.
Uh-huh. Furthermore, he feared the dog could easily have run a long way out into the surrounding countryside. And here, Lerner even launched a live blog to keep people interested in an updated with his research, right? Now,
Yeah.
with his search. Now, number 4, this paragraph, what is number 4 about?
It's about the Leonard go to the local television to the bad notice that he go be loose.
Yes, it means he tells the TV, he goes to the papers, he talks to people, he asks for her dog, everybody he found on the streets, right? So he did a lot of things. It's about the efforts to find Gobi. So the one that best fits here is F or G?
The G.
G,
Yeah.
right? Learners even launch a live blog to keep people interested, right? Exactly.
G.
So number 4 is letter G. Number 5.
Letter B.
Number 5, letter B.
Exactly. Very good, girls. Letter B. Exactly. Number 5, it's letter B. They had taken her home and thought she could be Gobi. So somebody found Gobi. I hope somebody found her. And finally, it's when finally the runner got her. So which one could be number 6?
Letter C.
Letter C. Letter C says it was as if the two had never been apart, and Leonard says he felt just like he had when they were racing together. Yes, very good, exactly. That's the correct answer. Number 6, letter C. It was as if the two had never been apart. Finally, they got together. That's the correct answer for number 6, letter C. Okay, so you see, it's very important to read very fast each paragraph so that you can write like a general idea of each paragraph and then see how each paragraph I mean the ones from the gaps, it can fit in the text, okay? And then you read the whole text again. Very good, my dear candidates. So it's 1E, 2A, 3D, 4G, 5B, and 6C. Very good, exactly. Thank you very much. Good job, very good job. Now, there are other two pieces of papers there, two more texts, okay, that you still can do at home. Okay, let me share here with you again. Correct. So we have finished with this, Tree of the Year, the Desert Runner. Now in your house, please, you will do field trips for school children, okay? Field trips for school children, and films and computer games, okay? Field trips for school children and films and computer games. How much time do you need to do each part, each exercise? How much time do you need?
14 minutes.
Exactly, 14 minutes only, no more, okay? 14 minutes, remember. Okay, there you go. So this will be your new homework, okay? For next Saturday. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, we have finished with this part. Now we're going to move on to the next part, okay? Which is reading and use of English part 7, okay? Now, part 7 is the last exercise in reading and use of English. It's the last one, right? Now, what things do we remember about part 7 of reading and use of English, my dear candidates? What can we remember? How many questions, maybe how many questions are there? What kind of questions are these? What can you remember? Anybody?
I don't. What would I tried? You can explain again.
Yes.
What do you need?
Yes, I'll say it again. So we have this last part, right? Reading and use of English part 7, which is the part we're going to start right now. Now, what do we remember from this exercise? Part 7 is the last exercise for reading. How many questions are there?
6.
6 questions. More.
10.
Exactly, there are 10 questions. Very good. Now, part 6, we know that it's a gap text, right? We need to fill in the text. Now, part 7, are there also gaps in a text? Are there alternatives? Is a multiple matching activity?
Don't have alternatives.
You don't have alternatives. I mean, alternatives for each question. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. You don't have alternatives for each question. Very good. But it's still a multiple activity. Exactly. It's still a multiple matching activity. Now, please go to the virtual and download the material of Reading and Use of English Part 7. Okay? Reading and Use of English Part 7. Please open it. We're going to start with it right away. Okay. Reading and Use of English Part 7. Now, let me share my screen with you. So now you can see it. Okay, this is the material that you will find on UD Virtual. As you see, it's a multiple matching activity where you have different texts and questions, 10 questions here, correct? You have to put the correct letter for each question. You have to write A, B, C, or D in each question. Okay, that's why it's called multiple matching. Okay, it's the last part of reading and use of English. It may be the easiest part. Okay, now, my dear candidates, who can help me please reading the description? Patricia, could you help me please?
Teacher, yes. In each correct answer.
Yes, part 7, multiple matching.
Okay. In this part, there is an emphasis on locating specific information and detail and recognizing in opinion and attitude in one long text or a group of short text.
Exactly. It's a group of short text and you have to pay attention and recognize opinion and attitude from the writers or the situations. Thank you very much, Patricia. Continue, please, Patricia. Each correct answer in part 7 receives 1 mark. 1 mark. Okay, continue, Patricia.
Okay. Part 7 consists of 1 long text or up to 6 shorter texts, preceded by 10 questions. Candidates are required to locate the specific information which matches the questions. To do this, they need to understand detail, attitude, or opinion in the question and locate a section of text where that idea is expressed. Discounting ideas in other sections which may appear similar but which do not reflect the whole of accurately. Some of these options may be correct for more than one question.
Exactly. So as the first part told us, right, we have to find attitude and opinion. We have to find detailed information in the text, right? Now, and some options may be used more than once, right? So I have here A, B, C, and D. So then I can have A as the answers for 3 questions, or B can be used 4 times, C can be used only 2 times, D can be used only once. So we don't know. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. So in this first part, or the first exercise, will be about a tradition, okay? Different events, okay? So before we start reading, let's do this activity about cultures and customs, just to warm up a little bit, okay? This exercise contains information about La Tomatina, okay? It will be very related to what you are going to read, all right? And you have to put these verbs in the correct passive form, okay? Let's do it together. Sorry, I will give you just a couple of minutes for you to do it, and then we will take answers just to warm up a little bit, and then we will continue with our exam task, okay? Of course, this kind of exercise is not a part of the exam. You won't find a similar activity like this in your real exam, okay? This is just to get a little bit more familiar with the context, okay? So I will stop sharing and you have 2 minutes to do this part. The correct passive form of the verbs, okay? So when I say passive form can be, for example, in this case, tell. We can say are told, were told. Maybe if it's singular, we can say is told, was told, has been told. We don't know, okay? So 2 minutes and you do it, okay? I will stop sharing. You go. Okay. So let's see here. La tomatina, right? When we think of la tomatina, we start thinking like throwing tomatoes. Correct? Now let's see. Let me share here. Okay. La tomatina. La tomatina takes place each year in Buñol, a small town near Valencia in Spain. Many stories. What did you write there?
Have been
told.
Exactly. We have different options. We can say are told or have been told.
Been told.
Are told or have been told. Very good. About how it all started. One is that in 1945, a group of young people attending a festival grabbed tomatoes from a nearby market stall and started a playful food fight. They
Were stopped.
They were stopped. Very good.
Were stopped.
Excellent. Thank you, candidates. They were stopped by the police, but on the same day in August, a year after that, a food battle was fought. Very good. Was fought in Buñol again, with local people bringing tomatoes to throw at each other. In the 1950s, the event
Was banned.
Very good. Was banned. But the locals continued and
Were locked up.
And were locked. Very good. And were locked up in jail. The people of Buñol demonstrated against the ban, and finally in 1959 they
Were allowed.
They were allowed it. Very good. They were allowed to hold the event again. However, a strict code of conduct was
introduced.
Exactly. Was introduced controlling issues such as how the fight was to begin. Since then, the festival
has been attended.
Exactly. has been attended. Since then, the festival has been attended by more and more people each year. Has been attended. It means it continues. Exactly. Very good. So La Tomatina, right? Where people throw tomatoes at each other. This is an event near Valencia, right? It's a strange event where people have fun, right? It's a little violent, so we should be careful, right? Now, let's start with our exam task. We have the instruction here, but I already know what I have to do, correct? I know that I have to put the letters of each short text in the correct question from 1 to 10. So I don't need to read the whole instruction, only what? The only thing that I have to read is what I'm going to read about.
The topic?
Exactly, I'm going to read about texts, right? Or an article in which 4 people describe going to see an unusual annual event. So who are the 4 people? Sadie, Joy, Luisa, and Charlie. Okay, so I have to start reading the topic, so I start being more conscious of that, of the information I am about to read. So I am going to read the experience of those 4 people. So the information I will find here won't be very objective, but people will include here their opinion and experiences and how they felt. So start imagining, once you read the instruction, or sorry, the context, the situation within the instruction, start thinking, okay, so it's the people's ideas, it's the people's experience, okay? Okay, so Sadie, Joy, Luisa, and Charlie will talk about their experiences when they went to see an annual event. All right, that's what I'm going to read. That's clear. I have already thought and gathered some expectations of what I'm going to read. Fantastic. Then my 10 questions here. Which person mentions, which person? It means Charlie, Jody, Joy, Sadie, who, correct? Which person mentions? Now, I have this. I start reading my questions. And what else do you think I should read? Oh, sorry, I should do after I start reading my questions. What should I do as I read the questions?
To underline the topic words?
Yes, underline the keywords, right? Or circle.
Keywords.
Exactly,
Yeah.
my keywords, always, very important, Miriam. So which person mentions the possibility of people at the event having their belongings stolen? Okay, so there's a person who talks about a possibility at the event of having their belongings stolen. So what I can do here is, as Miriam said, I can circle or I can underline something, right? So what does this question make me think of? In an event, a person talks about a possibility of people at the event having their belongings stolen. So what does it mean? It means that in that event, at the event where the person was, what happened there? There were
Stolen.
the people, there were
They were
robbers.
there were robbers, there were
Robber.
thieves, right? So I can, oops, sorry, I can also write like maybe a short summary or a short conclusion of what that question makes me think, right? The possibility of people at the event having their belongings stolen. So at this event, there were thieves, maybe. Or maybe it was dangerous. Or maybe people had to be careful. Correct? So I start like gathering my conclusions. Okay, so I have to go farther because they just gave me like a hint. Okay, and I have to go farther. Second question. Which person mentions regretting being without an item of protective equipment? So this person is like, oh, why didn't I bring my, what can be a protective equipment example? An example of a protective
Helmet.
piece of equipment. A helmet, very good.
Maybe this person hurt him or herself in that event.
Exactly. So the most important words here can be, for example, the most important words can be here, protective equipment, right? Protective equipment. So I can circle or underline or highlight as you wish those words and then write my conclusion, right? Regretting being without an item of protective equipment. So maybe this person, as Janela said, maybe this person fell and hurt himself, okay? Or herself, correct? Maybe this person fell and hurt himself or herself because this person wasn't wearing a helmet, wasn't wearing some elbow pads, I don't know. So that's why this person regrets. Okay, so I continue doing the same. I continue doing the same with each question. Go farther, okay? Once I finish reading all the questions, I continue with my texts, okay? I continue with my text here. I have the 4 texts. I will start with letter A. I start reading letter A, and as I read, and as I have just finished reading these questions and writing my conclusions, etc., it may be very likely to remember. I may remember very well what I have just read. So letter A, last year, Sadi, last year I was one of the 31,000 people who took part in Lia Tomatina. Okay, this person was in Tomatina. There were many people. So as I read, in your mind, you can start talking. If that works for you, that works for me. When I read, I kind of speak to myself. Okay, so there were a lot of people. Okay, an annual festival held in Buño, okay, in Spain, during which townspeople and visitors filled the streets. So the first part, it's about the description of the event. Okay. I've neither laughed so hard nor feared for my life as much as I did on that day. So that means that this event was very funny, but also it was dangerous. Trucks of tomatoes were dumped in the streets, and soon I found myself picking up handfuls of squash fruit, blah, 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 blah. Oh, here is the answer of one of the questions, to one of the questions. So before I finish reading, I can write, let's imagine it's in number 3, I will write letter A here, okay? And I continue, okay, number 3 is letter A, and I continue. So the idea is that you continue reading the whole text and then go to the questions and find the questions for this text and write. Number 1 is letter A, number 3 is A, because yes, there was an accident. It says that he regrets being without an item of protective equipment. Yes, that's right, because he wasn't wearing a helmet and he hurt himself. So that's the right answer. Number 3 is A. What else? And you continue. If there are no more questions for this paragraph, then you continue with paragraph B. You do the same, and then paragraph C, and then paragraph D. Okay? And then just check, double check, double check, double check, okay? You should do the whole exercise in 12 minutes, okay? 12 minutes, okay? So let's go through the steps again, and then you're going to do this part, okay? So what should I do first, candidates?
The topic.
Read the topic. Exactly, Miriam. Read the topic. And
underline the keywords.
Exactly. Underline the keywords in my topic. Then
Conclusion for the topic.
The questions, right? I start reading my questions,
Yeah.
highlighting, underlining, circling,
the keywords.
Exactly, and writing some conclusions.
The right conclusions.
Exactly, short summaries or short conclusions of each question. Exactly. I do the same with all of them, with the 10 questions. If I want, I can read my conclusions again before I start reading. Then start reading my first paragraph, right? I start reading my first paragraph or my first text, find the answers to my questions there and match them. Okay, letter A is here. This person talked about thieves. Okay, A. This person talked about protective equipment, A, etc. Now, sometimes the words that you see, I mean, not sometimes, you will never find the specific words that you saw here in the questions in the text. Okay, it's very difficult to find literally the same words that you found in the questions in the text. Okay, it's not that common. So that's why your conclusions will help a lot. Your short conclusions or your short summaries will help a lot. Okay, because you have to infer. Okay. Remember, as we read at the beginning, it has to do with the attitude, with the opinion, correct? Okay, ready? 12 minutes for this part. Can we try? Can we give it a go?
Yes.
Okay, it's 3:30 3:50, 12 minutes, okay? 3:50, we take answers. You can start. Go. Okay, let's check our answers now. Okay, candidates?
Yes, please.
All right. We'll activate your microphones. Okay, so let's check then. Question number 1. What did they mention about thieves?
D.
Exactly, in letter D. Very good. They said that they could rob your mobile phone, your keys, etc.
Actually, from monkeys, not robbers, but.
Oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
monkeys. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you. Number 2.
A.
Letter A. Very good. Letter A. So here the person said that he should have taken a pair of goggles with him because he hurt his eye, right?
Exactly.
He hurt himself. Good. Number 3.
C.
Exactly. Very good. Letter C. Very good. Brave people. He talked in the text, this person talked about the bravery of some men, right? Very good. Number 4.
B.
Very
B.
good. B from Bravo. B. Exactly. Warning about organizing a trip to the event. A warning, a suggestion. If you want to go there, you should book a room in advance.
This person talk about accommodation.
About accommodation, exactly. Very good, Janela. Number 5.
A.
A.
C.
A.
A.
An injury caused during the event. Letter A. When he hurt his eye. Remember? Number 5A. Number 6.
C.
B.
C. Number 6, letter C. Number 6, letter C. How difficult it was to get a good view. Number 7.
B. D.
B. Excellent. Excellent. Products that were available to buy. Letter B. In the text, this person mentions that they could shop. Correct? Good. Number 8.
A.
A. Fantastic. Two strong emotions, right? When our writer said that she laughed and feared a lot for her life. Exactly. So she was very happy, but at the same time, she was afraid. Good. Number 9. What's the correct answer for number 9? Letter
C.
C.
Letter C. Very good.
C.
People with a particular interest who would like the event. Exactly. When they talk about some fans would like this. Fantastic. And finally, number 10.
D.
D. Very good. The reason why the event originally began, it was to increase tourism. Correct? Excellent candidates, eh? Very good. Very good job. Very good job. So now here is the thing. Once you find an activity in the paper that where you are very good at, you could maybe start with this activity at the beginning, or maybe you can do part 1 and part 2 of reading and use of English, which is a little bit quickly, right? You have to do it quickly, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. And then if you feel like you are very good at this part, or maybe at part 5, or maybe at part 4, I don't know, do those or do this part so that in that way you can have you can feel more sure about having your marks, okay? Because part 7 is at the very end. So maybe once you start doing this activity, if you put it off until the end, you may feel a little bit tired to start doing this. So maybe it could be a good idea to do it secondly or thirdly, right? So that you make sure that you have your 10 points or your 10 marks, okay? So that can be a suggestion. If you feel you're very good at this, do it. Do it before. Don't do it in the end. Okay? Okay. Thank you very much. Candidates, we have finished with this very first part. We're going to have a short break and then continue with another activity and then take our mock for part 6 and part 7. Okay? It's 3:56. Let's come back at 4:06. Okay? At 4:06. See you in 10 minutes at 4:06 p.m. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Now let's continue. Okay. Now you have taken your break. We're going to continue then with this second part, second activity. So let's see. Okay, now we're going to continue with this second example, okay? We have just finished with the world's strangest annual events, okay? Now we are going to continue with this text, fame and fortune, okay? For those who may have just arrived, we are doing part 7 of reading and use of English. And we were saying what to do first. First, read the topic.
The topic.
Exactly, of what you're going to read. So then you know you're going to read about 5 young people, or you're going to read about what 5 young people think about fame. So this is very related to people's opinion, correct? They will talk about what they think about fame. Once I have that idea clear, so I can start thinking about like, okay, maybe these people may think positive things, negative things. They will maybe talk about the advantages and disadvantages of being famous, correct? How fame changes your life, etc. Right? So you start like thinking what you can find in the text, and that's good. Okay, that's good if you start thinking of what you may find in each paragraph. Then start reading the questions, and for each question we said that you could underline or
the keywords.
Exactly, you could highlight or underline or circle the keywords.
And conclusion.
And writing the conclusions of the questions or writing some summaries of the questions, right? Like, which person admits he finds certain aspects of fame attractive? Attractive, right? So this person thinks that certain aspects of fame are attractive. So this can be like a positive, or maybe just like this, positive opinion. Correct? Positive opinion. Attractive. You have already circled it. Certain things. Positive opinion. Attractive. Now, what things can be attractive? What these certain things can be attractive? Maybe you can write your conclusions like maybe money can be attractive. The money that fame gives you can be attractive, or being popular. Right? Being popular can be attractive. So you start thinking and writing your conclusions, correct? This person believes that fame makes those who get it focus too much on themselves. So this person says that everybody can get famous. This person believes that fame makes those who get it focus too much on themselves.
Like selfish?
Exactly. These people, usually people who are selfish, right, can be famous, correct?
Okay.
Now, you start doing the same with the other questions, circling, highlighting, and writing. Okay, with questions from 1 to 10. Then we start reading each paragraph, correct? And we start trying to find what you have written here, the conclusions. How many of these conclusions appear in the first paragraph? And then you start writing A, and then you continue B, oh, this is a question. And you start matching, okay? 12 minutes, right? Let's give it a go, let's do it. Okay? Let's do it, please, okay? Let me stop sharing. And you have 12 minutes. 4:24 at 4:24, which is 12. It's 4:12 at 4:24, we check answers. There you go, 12 minutes. Start, please.